What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my banner review series for Fire Emblem Heroes. In this series I review a banner and tell you guys if it's worth something on that banner or not. I also analyze the units on the banner. So recently we got a Genealogy of the Holy War banner featuring Deirdre, Tailtiu and Sigurd, and this banner will end on 30 October 2017. So let's begin with the Holy Knight himself. The first thing that you will notice is that his base stat total is highest for a Cavalier unit in the entire game, so he pretty much got a choose your legends treatment when it comes to that. His HP stat is average and it's not really as high as some other red Cavaliers like Eldigan and Xander, but it's enough to make him pretty bulky on the front lines. His base attack stat of 35 is the highest for a Cavalier unit in the game, so it allows him to hit pretty hard with his legendary weapon Divine Tearfang, which has got 16 might. That makes him a very strong unit, and his speed stat is average. However, it is enough to the point where after Harsh Emblem buffs, he can prevent getting doubled by majority of the units in the metagame. Not to mention, if you have him with plus speed IV, then it only gets better for you and it will improve his longevity, as he will not get doubled by too many units and he already has such a good bulk. His defense is actually quite high and it is great for a melee unit. It's 3 points lower than Xander's defense, but he actually has better longevity than Xander due to his speed, so you could say that he's more reliable than Xander on the battlefield. He has got a low res, but that's not a problem because he can literally tank hits from blue mages as long as they do not have Sword Breaker due to his Divine Tearfang and Crusader's Ward. You would say that with Deflect Magic, Secret Seal, many red units can also live hits from Reinhardt, but the thing is that nothing in the game works quite like his Divine Tearfang, and because of it, he's a great magic check. His Divine Tearfang is an insane weapon, giving him a permanent boost of plus 3 res and the reduction of damage from the first hit from a magical unit by 50%, and that itself makes him quite ridiculous and stocky. His special is Miracle, which is not really all that good for a unit like him, and an offensive special like Bonfire or Draconic Aura is better for him. His slotted skill is Close Defense, which makes him a very bulky unit in the enemy face with his already high defense stat, and you can always run Distant Defense Sacred Seal as well to just add to his bulk and make him a super tanky unit. His slot B skill is Crusader's Ward, which works like Ike's Urban, but only for range attacks for Sigurd. It cannot be inherited to anyone, and because of it, he can easily take hits from Reinhardt, Brave Bow units, and mages despite his low res. Speed Smoke is an insane skill which lets him double many units in the player phase if you proc that in the enemy phase, which will happen a lot because he's a very good frontline unit, and this just adds to his reliability. -7 speed debuff is a lot, especially when speed stat is such a valuable stat in Fire Emblem games. Since he already has a good default skill set, all you need to do is run Reposition as his assist skill and a special like Bonfire on him. Jokes aside, even if he's minus defense, Bonfire is the better special for him unless you've got a plus attack minus defense IV Sigurd and you're not going to be running close defense, then Draconic Aura is better in that specific case. Distant Counter can also be run on him for his slot A, but it's a controversial option on him just like it is on Brave Ike. But with Sigurd, Distant Counter actually goes pretty well with his weapon because he can be a great magic check as he will take 50% less damage on the first magical hit, and then he can retaliate back and take out pretty much a lot of the mages since they are so squishy and a lot of the times they run life and death and skills like that. But obviously his slot B skill clashes with Distant Counter, and because of it, it means that he will interrupt the enemy attack with his Distant Counter, so their attack is no longer going to be consecutive, and that will result in him taking full damage from their second hit, and many times he can just die because he does not have very high res, as you guys know. So without the damage reduction, he can just die to the second hit from mages, so that's a con. However, if he's got plus speed IV or speed plus 3 Sacred Seal and you can run him on a Harsh Emblem team, then Distant Counter is a very good option because he will not get doubled by any mages either way, and the only units who can attack him twice will be Brave Bow units and Reinhardt, so he can still make great use of his Distant Counter skill and retaliate back, and a Quick and Pulse Igneous Sigurd can one round kill Reinhardt in the enemy phase. So that's pretty good because he can reach 41 speed basically with plus speed IV and Hone Cavalry buff, or you could also run speed plus 3 Sacred Seal if you do not have him with plus speed IV. So this encounter is pretty good with that. So overall it's quite subjective and depends on his IVs, your enemy phase demands from him, and if you're going to be using him on a Horse Emblem team or not. Overall, he's one of the best units in the entire game and pretty much the best frontline unit in the game. It's very hard to one round KO him if he's not initiating an attack on you. He's a very solid and reliable unit and will influence the metagame. Now let's move on to his wife Deidre. She's a green mage and her res is quite high and she's got a decent attack and average speed. She's a great magic tank and she's going to be getting compared to Julia a lot, but both of them have pretty much the same magical bulk, even though Deidre has got less HP and doesn't have Naga Tome and Julia has got less res. But the real reason why Deidre is slightly better than Julia is because of her Divine Naga Tome. The keyword here is slightly. She's able to completely nullify any kind of buffs of enemies during combat, and that's incredible in a metagame filled with emblem teams like Horse Emblem and Blade Tome units, and she gives a tough competition to Julia. Deidre doesn't always need to run Green Tome Breaker like Julia because she negates the buffs and can check many mages more reliably with Quick Riposte and one round KO them. Her assist skill is Ardent Sacrifice, which is a pretty bad skill in combination with Quick Riposte, so reposition and drawback are better. Quick Riposte is a really good skill on her and lets her be an amazing magic tank, and as I've said before, she does not always need to run Green Tome Breaker to check Blade Tome Nino because she can nullify the buffs and she's a great Blade Tome check. Due to her high res, she can make excellent use of Speed Ploy and Attack Ploy Sacred Seal and make up for a lackluster attack and often prevent doubles from enemies, which in the end increases her longevity. And if you have her with plus speed IV, then Speed Ploy is even better because she can actually double a lot of units. For skill inheritance, you can run Iceberg as her special or Glacis if you've got a minus attack Deidre, and Fury is definitely her best slot A option and makes her a more tanky unit and helps her do more damage. Deathblow can also be run on her if you want to increase her player phase damage output. She's a top tier green mage and her utility sets her apart from other green mages because she can nullify buffs and she's a very good mage tank. Now let's move on to the last unit from this banner, Tailtiu. She's got a high speed stat and a decent attack stat, making her a pretty nice offensive unit, but compared to top blue mages like Lind, she's definitely an inferior version of her due to less attack stat and 1 point lower speed. If they actually dumped some of her HP points into her offensive stats, like attack or speed, then it would definitely be better for her. And an offensive unit like her does not really need that much HP, to be honest, so they kinda messed up with her HP stat. A Blade Tome Lind will always do much better than her. She comes with Bladder Blade Plus, so she is a native Blade Tome unit, and she's got a dual rally skill, which is super good as it can not only boost 2 stats, but also give you more arena points due to its higher SP cost. And if you guys do not know, in this arena matchmaking system, the system does take the SP cost pretty seriously for these skills. Her slot A skill is Attack Res plus 2, which is not really that good of a skill for the most part, but I guess it can be used with some budget sets if you do not really have access to other skills. Drive Speed is a great support skill that she has and gives her a nice utility. So with her Rally skill and Drive Speed, she can buff an ally speed by 6, which is really great. For skill inheritance, you can run Luna or Moonbow because she does not really fit into the criteria for any other special. But if you've got a plus attack IV on her, then you can definitely run Draconic Aura and it will be a much consistent special. Glimmer can also be run on her because she's a Blade Tome unit, and Glimmer is a pretty good special on Blade Tome units, especially for Tempest Trials because enemies there have got big HP stat, so that's why Glimmer can always help there. But for Arena, Glimmer is an overkill and is not really that good. And for her slot A, you can run Life and Death, Fury or Darting Blow. All of those are good slot A options, and with a high speed stat, she can definitely rock Desperation for her slot B. Overall, she's just a usual high tier blue mage. She's solid at what she does, but she does get outclassed by Lind, like I said. The only thing she has got over Lind is that she is cheaper to build compared to her, as she already has a Blade Tome. Now I will give you guys my final verdict on this banner. I give this banner a rating of 9 out of 10. The best unit from this banner is Sigurd, then Deirdre, and at last Tailtiu. This banner has got 2 top tier units in Sigurd and Deirdre, and 1 high tier blue mage. Sigurd is one of the best units in the entire game, and for him alone, I think you should definitely summon on this banner. Deidre is also a solid mage tank with a utility to ignore buffs, so both of them are actually pretty great. Tailtiu will most likely get demoted to 4 stars after this banner is over, but if you lack a good blue mage, then you can definitely go for her. However, if you've got someone like Reinhardt, Delphia, or Lind already in your roster, then you should not be going for the blue stones unless you really like her as a character and felt sad about her end in Genealogy of the Holy War. In short, if you're a free-to-play player, then my advice would be to summon only on red and green color. Now, if you cannot decide between summoning on the Performing Arts banner and this one, then it's completely fine because both of them are actually pretty good banners. But you should split your orbs and try to get Sigurd first because he's a very unique unit and one of the best in the game. Now, dancers are limited and ranged dancers are definitely nice, but you can always just run other dancers like Olivia, Ninian, or Azura instead. There is no unit like Sigurd who can be that good on front lines, and that's how I honestly feel. If I was a free-to-play player, I would definitely do that, and that's just how I value them. And Sigurd would be much more useful in Tempest Trial, which is coming this month, as he will most likely be a 40% bonus unit, and he can also help you a lot with the Infernal Grand Hero battles and Infernal Bound Hero battles. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please be sure to leave a like and do not forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on more Heroes content and guides like these. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.